Welcome to this week's Bible study. We're in Acts chapter 2 still. We're looking at verses 37 through 47. Peter has just finished giving this wonderful oration, and people in this section come to Christ by the boatload. 3,000 in the first day. As we read on, continuing to add, every day, more people come to Christ. Every day, Christians are gathering. Let's have a quick look at what's written here. Every day, they're gathering in the temples to worship God. Every day, they're gathering together to eat. They're celebrating the Lord's Supper. Every day. Think about this. They're going to church 3 times a day during this time. And here we are, at times struggling to go. Some of us even struggle to get there once a week. Others struggle to get there 2 to 3 times a week. They are there every day. Even when the Jews celebrated the Passover, which is exactly what the Lord's Supper is forecast from, the Hebrews celebrated it once a year during Passover. For the Christians, it was a daily occurrence. So we're going to look at this very quickly. Today's church in America, we're called to be like this early church. How is today's church like this old church? And a slightly easier question is, how is today's church different from the old church? Now, if we look at this church, we see that it's a healthy, thriving community. They're all getting together. They're all sharing. They're all making sure that everyone gets what they need. They're making sure the needs are taken care of. The first question there is, what do we need to do to make our churches more like this church? And there's one specific verse I'd like to look at. And that's verse 39, where it says, "This promise is to you, and to your children, and even to the Gentiles, all who have been called by the Lord our God." These words were spoken by our dear friend Peter, who, as we know, was good for putting his foot in his mouth from time to time. How quickly did he forget these words? Well, a few months later, he was called to the house of Cornelius, who was a Gentile, a Roman soldier, actually a Roman officer would be the best way of saying it, and he didn't want to go over there. Yet here he is, even to this day, saying the message is going to be for the Gentiles. How quickly do we forget who the message is for sometimes? There are people out there who are around we don't particularly want to be around. There are streets where we see people who we're even wondering how they're alive, if they're worth going to. And we see people who we just don't want anything to do with. How quickly we forget what the message was for. The question is, how do we reach out to those who we don't want to be around? And since many of these are poor, here's another thought for you. Since the church shared with those, all who had need, how did the poor contribute to the Christian community? This is a very important question, especially in today's world, because there are gifted people out there that we are missing out on, who have gifts to give to the Christian community, who we just look right past. This is perhaps one of the most serious Bible studies that we're looking at, because this is the one that holds the mirror straight in front of our face. If we're going to be more like God, if we're going to do as God commands, these are questions we